Hi, this is Nishat Tasneem. I'm from Bangladesh and work in a human rights organization. Today we're going to talk to Meghna Guhathakurta, who is a renowned Bangladeshi scholar and human rights activist. So, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
And Didi, you already know that we are going to talk to you about South Asian unity, one kind of unity. And you have worked with different kind of peoples and from different countries of South Asia. Now, can you share your some memory or experience from work to them, work with them, and anything?
Yes, I've had experience in engaging with South Asian exchange program. And there was one program which was South Asian people. People from one country of South Asia went to visit another country of South Asia. And there was also Indo-Bangladesh exchange program where people from Bangladesh went to India and vice versa. So in both these cases, Professor Rahman Soban was leading the delegation. And I think, so this was my experience of people-to-people exchange between South Asian countries. One of the very important things to remember about this is that South Asia has people have a lot in common with the other South Asian people of other countries. We think we are belonging almost to the same culture, although there are very differences of culture all around us, but we seem to be belonging to the same South Asian culture. We almost look alike with differences, but then there are differences even within one country. So this people to people or people centric communication is very important. So one of my remembrance about this, my early memories about it is I went to India with meeting in India Indian people as well as people from Pakistan and Nepal. They also came there, and it was just after the attack of Babri Masjid on the Babri Masjid, and it was very tense period. But then when I went and I related what happened to minorities in Bangladesh as a result of the attack on the Babri Masjid, that we in Bangladesh, especially Hindu temples, were attacked and we had to suffer. Then later on, a Muslim from India came to me and said, "Thank you so much for talking about this. We don't seem to be talking about it within ourselves, but you came from Bangladesh and talked about it, and then we can discuss these things in a more human manner." So that was very useful for me to know that sometimes especially when people are not heard, like minorities, they are not heard so easily across borders. So when they meet other people in South Asian countries, a lot of communal tension can be alleviated. It can be, and similarly, I've also went to Pakistan as a member of the South Asian program for Platform for Minorities, minority rights. And I also saw in Pakistan there was a lot of minorities in Pakistan which we had not heard about before. And the way they lived and their sufferings also helped me to understand Pakistan as a whole, not as a state but as a community, as a society. And that's very important for opening up your mind. So that's basically it.
We also have our shared history, shared colonial history also. So, what do you think? What are the barriers to create an identity as a South Asian identity?
The barriers are, of course, state politics, because I was talking an exchange of people to people exchange, and that's not usually done. What usually happens is state level politics determined how we should behave towards another country, and the challenges come from that barriers that they set up, states set up. So for a long time, we did not have direct flights to another country. Like Sri Lanka or Maldives, yet they are also South Asians. But now we have direct flights, at least to Sri Lanka. But now there are also Maldivians don't have direct flights, say, to maybe Nepal. So these are some of the reflections of of the challenges that we have inherited from divide and rule politics of the colonial history, and unfortunately our politicians still adhere to those divide and rules, and that is the main challenge of South Asian unity.
Now, can you tell us your vision about this unity or collective identity for South Asian?
Yes, I think the South Asian, to know that you are South Asian would first and foremost, you would have to know who are the South Asians. And I have had the fortune to be traveling across borders to India, Pakistan, Nepal, and Sri Lanka, but a lot of people in Bangladesh does not have that freedom. They have at the most traveled to India. That's the nearest neighboring country. So I was very fortunate in being able to travel from Bangladesh to other countries in South Asia, but not many people have that lucky, because they can. It needs a lot of money, and poor people cannot afford that. And also they are, as I said, there are problems in transportation. We cannot travel easily to other countries because there
also
is no direct
policy.
flight, and then there is also visas. Mostly it is the visas. So I think in order to reach unity of South Asian as a unit, people must be able to know what other South Asian countries, and in order for them to know, traveling must be made easy. So visa requirements should be, made easy, and possibly the ideal would be if we did not have to have a visa to go to another country, but that is again politically difficult. Because the nature of politics is to stop migration and everything. So they think that everyone is a possible migrant. Like in Europe, in the European Union, it's possible to travel from one country to another. But at least you can start by encouraging young people to travel to other countries, by having programs in the schools and colleges and universities. Like in my time, there was a lot of these South Asian tours. Students used to even contribute personally to the tour, and the university also took some responsibilities. So they can easily. So there are a lot of exchange tours also. Schools may go to another school, may have schools in Bangladesh may have a relationship with schools in Sri Lanka or Pakistan or India, and then they might exchange students there, that some students may go and stay with their students in that country, and similarly receive other students from that country. So that is also a way in which you can start these travels. So travel is essential. The other thing that is important is to have freedom of movement. which is also conducive economically to freedom of trade. And that is, unless South Asia needs to form, even not formally but informally, a kind of a trading market. So our border areas, all countries some countries have quite easy borders in trading, that up to 5 miles or 5 kilometers, border people can go and trade simple things like eggs and daily necessities in the other country, because the borders are so arbitrary that and we have relatives across the borders. In some cases, for example, there are religious festivals across borders, which they allow other people for one day for other people to come and pray at that temple or something. So these are just beginnings, but they need to be encouraged. So wherever border trading is possible, you can allow border trading to happen. That will be another step before we come to the whole concept of unity. The whole concept of unity has to be political, of course. It has to be taken, the decision has to be taken by the state governments. But before it goes to the state governments, so freedom of travel, freedom of movement, exchange of learning, like one language to another. We can encourage people to learn various languages in India. Indians can learn Bengali, Pakistanis can learn Bengali. We can arrange these kinds of study tours. Okay, and so this is the first step, and the second step would be border trading, allowing border trading. And then I think we have this xenophobia about other countries. We are afraid of other people because we have an hostile image of the other. Indians think that Bangladeshis may have maybe extremists, and we think that maybe in Pakistan they are extremists. So this has to be done away with, and the only way to do it is through cultural exchanges.
Thank you so much, Didi, for
You're welcome.
joining us.